Hey, what's up YouTubers, and welcome back to a Toddy Walnuts update video. Joining me today are the lovely ladies, Miss Heidi on the left, Miss Hannah. We're in chill mode today. It's very, very cold here in the state of Wisconsin. We've had negative temperatures over the last couple of days. We've had kind of sort of a blizzard over the last couple of days. Although we didn't have much snow that accumulated, we had very high winds. It was like 50-mile-an-hour winds and negative temperatures, so a lot of the state was closed down over the last couple of days. So it's a good day to stay indoors, stay warm, and record an update video. So that's what I'm going to do today. I have a couple piles here, as always, and I've been picking up some of the holes in my Scream Factory collection. I got a little stack there on the left. I picked up some Walt Disney Movie Club exclusive Blu-rays on the second pile. I got kind of a little miscellaneous pile here. I picked up a couple of titles from the Black Friday sale from Vinegar Syndrome. Those came in about a week or two ago. I picked up a couple more Nico Mastorakis movies to go with my collection, and I'll go through those. I was sent a couple of screening copies from a British company called Signal One. I have a couple of titles there. I'll talk about those. And I grabbed a couple stacks of comic books over the last month or so. I've had these, I just forgot to show them in my last video, and I figured maybe you guys would like to check them out. So I have the complete run of the Shadow comic books from the 1970s. I believe it was 73. And then I have a little stack of Sword of Sorcery, and those were also from the 70s. There was only 5 comics in that run, so I have the whole run right there. So let's get into it here. Get yourself relaxed, get a beverage, get a snack, and let's go through and check out the movies I got. Okay, so we will go through the Scream Factory stuff first, but before we get into it, I just want to say I hope you guys are doing well. Thank you to all my new subscribers. I've been getting quite a few new subscribers lately. Thank you for that. I really appreciate that. And also, I do have a second channel. I know some of you guys know about it. It's called Surviving the Horror. I'll link it down below in the description box. It's a live stream channel for video games, and I'm trying to grow that channel too, so if you guys could be so kind as to consider popping over, checking it out. I do have a chat window. I live stream video games mostly from the survival horror genre, but I also do open world adventure games, and lately I've been playing Fallout 76 with a couple guys online. And it would be kind of cool to see some more people come over and either play or chat, or just if you want to hang out in the shadows and watch, that's fine too. I would like to build that channel a little bit. I just recently went over 200 subscribers on that channel, so I would like to bump that up a little bit if possible, and if you guys could help me out with that, I would really appreciate that. So check that link down below, and let's get into the pile of Scream Factory movies. And again, I'm just trying to fill some of the holes that are missing in my collection. A lot of these have gone out of print. They're still very affordable, so I'm trying to grab these now before they get out of hand. And some of them have gone out of hand. I don't know if I'll be able to get those now, but as far as this pile here, they were on average around 20 bucks a piece, give or take, somewhere maybe 15 to 17, maybe somewhere 25-ish, 26-ish, but on average these were about 20 bucks a piece. And the first one here is called The Four Skulls of Jonathan Drake. And I really love these covers. I think they look great. These are mostly older movies, black and white. And they're kind of rare because not too many companies have released these titles, at least on Blu-ray. So this one's from 1959. And the little tagline up there says, "He was the custodian of the ice box that kept the skulls crisp and fresh." You can see it looks like it's some type of a Native American killer At least that's what looks like. He's got some kind of a ceremonial robe, and it just reminded me of Native American. It could be that I'm completely wrong about that, but I haven't watched this one yet. But I was glad to pick it up and add it to the collection before it gets out of hand for price. The next one is called Colossus: The Forbidden Project. And this one's a horror movie about a supercomputer that I think kind of goes rogue and starts a war. I haven't seen this one yet either. This one's from 1970. It says it's a good sci-fi entertainment, a chilling look at what might happen if computers took over the world. So that's pretty cool to grab that one. The next one is called I Bury the Living. Another great cover. It's kind of a busy cover. There's a lot going on here. The color scheme is pretty cool. It's pretty loud. I like it. It says a creature to freeze your blood, a story to chill your soul. If any of you guys have seen any of these movies and you want to comment a little bit about them, please feel free to do so. Just no spoilers, please, as always. It looks like this one's from 1958. Black and white. Here's another great cover. This one's called Screaming Skull. It's a beautiful cover. The tortured ghost who claimed vengeance in the bride's bedroom. There's a little tagline here at the top that says, "Free. We guarantee to bury you without charge if you die of fright during Screaming Skull." Really nice. And it looks like this one came out in 1958 as well. And it has for a special feature, it says you can watch the Screaming Skull in standard definition as well as, I guess, high def and Blu-ray 1080p, right? So there's two different versions of the film on there. I'm not sure why you would want to watch it in standard def if you have it on high def Blu-ray, but I don't know. I didn't do any research. Maybe there's a difference between the two for running time. I don't know. Here's one that I watched recently, a couple weeks ago now. It's called The Ambulance. Stars Eric Roberts and James Earl Jones, and this one's kind of a dark comedy / horror movie. It was pretty good. Red Buttons was also in here. I thought Red Buttons was the best actor in this picture here. He did a really good job. It's about an ambulance that always arrives at the wrong time. It's a very suspicious ambulance, and it takes people away, and once those people are taken away, they're never seen again. And there's a reason why, but I'm not going to tell you why in case you want to watch this. I thought Eric Roberts did an okay job as the lead role in this movie, but I couldn't help but think that if they got a different lead role for this movie, it would have probably been a little bit better received, I think. I know Eric Roberts really tries. I just don't think he's the greatest actor ever, at least in my opinion. James Earl Jones had kind of a bit role in the movie. He wasn't in it very much, but he had a pretty funny death scene. If you guys seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. And again, I'm not going to ruin that part for you. You can watch it to see how his death scene was. That's not really much of a spoiler that James Earl Jones dies. He wasn't in the movie very much. But I do recommend this one. I thought it was pretty good. I would give it a 6 out of 10. Next one, I popped this one in a couple nights ago and I fell asleep again. I've been working a lot. But I do have I have 4 days off in a row, so for Christmas. And I do plan to, I planned to watch movies, but I've been playing a lot of Fallout 76 on my other channel. Again, please go check that link and consider subscribing to that and hanging out, chatting. This one's called Orca, the Killer Whale. I flipped the cover. I think that cover looks beautiful. It's really, really good. And although I did not finish the movie, I thought it was pretty good. I just fell asleep during it. And I'll show you what the other cover looks like. That's the one that was on there when I got it, which that looks beautiful too. I think that looks really good. Both of these covers are cool. There's the disc. That is Orca, the killer whale. I believe this was from the 70s, 1977 to be exact. And it is a Dino De Laurentiis production. He produced it. It does have a music soundtrack by Ennio Morricone, which is pretty good. That guy always had great music. That is Orca, the killer whale. Now these, I don't know, these next 6, I guess, or 5, is it? I haven't seen these yet either, so I haven't even opened these yet. This one's called the Deadly Mantis. You gotta love the sci-fi horror movies from the 60s and 70s. I think these movies are great. Some of them are pretty ridiculous, but they're fun popcorn movies. Just kind of kick back and you don't have to think much watching these movies. Just have fun with them. And you get a new 2K scan on this one. It's from 1957. And praying mantises are pretty aggressive insects, and they can really do some massive destruction to other insects or even lizards or animals that are bigger than them. They're pretty disgusting and they're pretty frightening to me. So it makes sense that they would make a horror movie about a praying mantis. Those things are completely scary to me. I mean, they only stand about a couple inches tall, right? But I mean, they can do some serious damage. The next one's called the Spider. Bullets won't kill it, flames won't hurt it, nothing can stop it. Another cool cover. Kind of reminds me of like comic book style covers from the 60s or 50s. And this movie's from 1958 as well. You get commentary with the filmmaker and film historian Ted Newsom. You get a Mystery Science Theater 3000 piece called Earth versus the Spider, and then you get a theatrical trailer and some still photos. It's not rated. Next one looks really good, called War of the Colossal Beast, the Towering Terror from Hell. Check that out. This one looks good. And looks like this one may be in color. She wanted only to find her brother alive. Be careful what you wish for. And this movie came out in 1958 as well. So the story goes about this movie. It says here, after Colonel Glenn Manning survived an experimental plutonium blast that triggered his mutation into a 70-foot giant, everyone believes he plunged to his death from the top of a boulder dam. Everybody, that is, except for his sister Joyce. She is convinced that her brother is alive. Joyce sets out to find her brother in the mountains of Mexico, but she is unprepared for the full truth. Her brother is hideously disfigured now and very angry. When he is captured by the authorities, the colossal beast escapes to wreak havoc on the city of Los Angeles. So that's pretty cool. Looking forward to checking that one out. War of the Colossal Beast. Now these next two are limited editions. I think they are limited to 1,000 a piece. You can only get these next two, this one and the next one, on the Scream Factory / Shout Factory website. So you may want to pop over there and check it out if you're interested in this, and grab it before it sells out. Because you know how that works if these things sell out and then scalpers get a hold of a couple of them and they start putting them for 4 or 5 times the original asking price for these movies, which is ridiculous. There's nothing worse than a scalper. I can understand making a couple bucks off of it, but some of the prices that you see on eBay are absolutely ridiculous. I stay away from eBay these days. Very rarely do I shop on eBay. I'll I'll go through Amazon or Etsy even. You could get some stuff on Etsy. But this one's called Blood of the Vampire. He begins where Dracula left off. Looks good. Looks real good. Directed by Henry Cass. This is a movie from 1956, does it say, or 58? It's right behind a printing. Looks like 58. But this one's in full color, apparently. Yeah, 1958, it does say it. So I was glad to get this for, although even if you buy it off Scream Factory, which is the only place you can get it, it's still very expensive. I think I paid $26 for this, or $27, which is a lot for an older movie like this. But I was glad to get it now for $28 or whatever it was, instead of paying $60 or $70 for it. And there's another twin billing to add to my collection. The double feature of Strip to Kill and Final Judgment. This one's also limited, and you can only get this at the Shout Factory website. So again, if you're interested, you might want to go get it now before it's too late. Strip to Kill is from 1987, and Final Judgment is from 1992. I thought I remembered seeing Final Judgment. I don't remember if I saw Strip to Kill. I think Strip to Kill is like a serial killer, kind of a thriller with horror undertones in it. Final Judgment is a gang fight type movie, I think, with guns and violence and stuff like that. I could be wrong. If you guys have any knowledge of those, you can comment down below. And the last one for my Scream Factory update for this video is I did pick up the Halloween 4K collection from 95 till 2002. So I do have all the Halloween movies on 4K now. The box that it comes in is very disappointing. It's very cheaply made. It's almost paper thin. I'm not even joking. It's almost like the thickness of a notebook paper. And so I have a feeling that this is not going to fare very well, even on the shelves. There's, you can see that I did buy this brand new from Amazon, but you can see that it's already kind of fraying at the corner. I barely touched any of these so far, but the first one here is called Halloween Resurrection. I waited a while to get these because these three movies are by far the weakest entries in the franchise for Halloween, in my opinion. I think a lot of people's opinion. And I just was sleeping on it. I didn't really care if I got it or not, or I wasn't in a hurry to get it, I should say, but I started to get FOMO again, as I do as a collector, and I was starting to worry that what if these sell out, and then I got to pay 2 times or 3 times as much for these movies that are terrible when I can just grab them now and at regular price. So that's what I did. So I don't know if I even have to pull these out. You guys know what these are. There's probably hundreds of unboxings of this set already. It's been out for a while, so I'll just show you the covers. So that's Resurrection. Here's H2O 20 years later. I mean, these boxes are excellent. These are really well made. It's a shame that they cheaped out on that. And then here's the Curse of Michael Myers. So the movies themselves, you know, the quality of the box, these slip boxes and the Amory cases are really, really nice. It's just a shame that they didn't pay a little more for better quality of the slip box, but I'll just pull one of these out so you guys can see it in case you haven't. I'm sure many of you have, but so this is the 4K Ultra HD of the movie. Love the black case. Then looks like this one popped out. What is this one here? This is the 4K of the producer's cut. This is the Blu-ray of the theatrical cut. And how did these things get popped out like that? The spindles are very shallow too, so they don't really have a lot to hold on to. But here's the Blu-ray producer's cut. So you do get some really nice stuff for a pretty terrible movie. But it's fun to collect these, you know. Halloween is not my favorite franchise, but I do enjoy it. And it's good to have all these different cuts of the movie. So I'm going to pause it here, put some of this stuff away, and then we'll jump into the Disney pile. Okay, so the next pile here are going to be the Disney movies that I picked up directly from the Disney Movie Club. These are Disney Movie Club exclusives. So the first one is the 30th anniversary edition. You get a Blu-ray, DVD, and digital code for Aladdin with a new slipcover. This was actually the movie of the month for November. So you got this one. This is the one that they send to you unless you decline it. And it also came with the live-action Aladdin starring Will Smith. I don't know if this cover here is an exclusive or not, but it came as a kind of a twin billing, I guess. I know this one's the Movie Club exclusive. I still haven't watched the live-action, but you do get the Blu-ray, DVD, and digital code for this one in the slipcover. I thought it was pretty cool to add that to the collection. Here's what the other cover looks like. And there's the signature collection logo in the bottom left-hand corner. So it is a very good movie. I enjoy Aladdin quite a bit. And I do enjoy these Movie Club exclusives. I think they're pretty fun to collect. So that is Aladdin. What year did this come out? Well, I mean, this came out in 2022 with this artwork on it, but I don't remember when the movie itself came out. But it's not as old as some of their classics. And I'm not seeing it, and I don't want to waste too much time looking for that, but I'll put that off to the side and keep moving. This was part of the Movie Club exclusive selection of the month for December, and I wanted to pick it up, so I just paid for it. This is the Christmas Classics 4-movie collection, Blu-ray, DVD, digital code. So in this 4-pack here, you get Miracle on 34th Street. That is the John Hughes, kind of, I guess, the remake. And you get A Christmas Carol starring George C. Scott. That's a classic. And then you get Jingle All the Way starring Arnie. And Home Alone. So those are all classic Christmas movies. And it comes in this nice fat pack, as I like to call it. And really nice slipcover. And this is a Movie Club exclusive. There's the logo right in the middle. Very nice set to get. And I think it was only about $30 for a 4-pack, which is pretty good, I think. It's a pretty good deal. So moving right along here, if you are a member for the Disney Movie Club, you have a certain amount of movies you have to buy during the tenure of your membership. And then once you fulfill that, I don't remember what it is, it's like 5 or maybe 7 movies over the course of like 3 years, which is very easy to do. Once you fulfill your end of the bargain and buy the movies, you stay on as a member, and they give you exclusive bonuses to pick up some of these movies, and you get extra savings on these movies. And the more you buy, the more you save. So it really does make a lot of sense to be a member of the Disney Club movies, especially if you collect and you love the Disney movies. This one I had already, but this was always kind of a rare one. I picked up another copy of it just in case somebody wants to trade for it at some point. I think I paid $12 for this. I think if you look on eBay, it's going for around like 35 to 50. And this is called the Scarecrow of Romney Marsh, also known as Dr. Syn, S-Y-N. This is more of kind of an adult movie, and when I say adult movie, I'm not talking about that kind of adult movie. This is more geared towards adults. It's a historical period piece, and it's a very good movie. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend checking this one out. But that's what the Scarecrow looks like. So I grabbed another copy of that just to have it. I finally picked up Something Wicked This Way Comes, another Disney Blu-ray exclusive. And this is also kind of geared more towards adults or older children. It's kind of it has scary elements in this movie. I remember watching this as a kid and thinking that it was a little different from what Disney normally puts out. So, but very good nonetheless, a very good movie. I also picked up a childhood favorite, Flight of the Navigator. I saw this in the movie movie theater as a kid with my family. I also had it on VHS. I watched it many times on HBO over the years. And this is Flight of the Navigator, another exclusive to the Disney Movie Club website. It says it has contents of tobacco depictions. This is a good movie, though. It's a pretty fun. It's a fun family movie, and it's a good kind of a sci-fi type movie. And in case you're wondering, I do believe these are all region, so my friends overseas can watch these too. Here's one I haven't watched yet, but I was very happy to add this to the collection. It's called The Watcher in the Woods. I think this one came out a couple of years ago, right? Or was there a remake of this? I could be completely wrong about that. I've been learning my lesson by not saying stuff like that, and I don't know why I just said that, but I thought this was a newer movie, like in the last 10, 15 years or so, but like I say, I could be completely wrong about that. And it doesn't say on the back. Maybe one of you guys know. I can always easily just Google it too, so. But it's always nice to hear from you guys. If you want to comment on it, that's fine too. I got the Brother Bear 2-movie collection with the slipcover. There were 2 different Brother Bear 2-movie collections that were Movie Club exclusives, but this one is specially tagged as a Movie Club anniversary exclusive. The first one did not have a slipcover. This one does, and it's a Blu-ray, DVD, digital code. These are really fun movies too. I really enjoy these. It's a 3-disc set, so you get a Blu-ray with 2 feature films and bonus materials, and then on disc 2 is a DVD of the feature film Brother Bear, and disc 3 is a feature film Brother Bear 2. I believe it's the same slip, so there's really no need to pull that out. It's the same thing. But very glad to add that to the exclusives. I have the Hunchback of Notre Dame 2-movie collection. It's also an anniversary exclusive. It's a pretty cool cover too. There's a lot going on there. And again, it's a Blu-ray, DVD, digital. And I'm trying to see how many discs. It must just be 1 disc. Well, 2 discs, 1 Blu-ray, 1 DVD. And then again, it is all region as well. Oh, it's a 3-disc. It says you get the Blu-ray with the 2 feature films, just like Brother Bear. DVD, disc 2 is DVD for The Hunchback of Notre Dame, and disc 3 is a DVD feature of Hunchback of Notre Dame 2. And you also get behind the scenes with Jennifer Love Hewitt, who is absolutely gorgeous. Always had a nice little crush on JL. Jennifer Love Hewitt, she's always gorgeous. And this one was really cheap. on the Disney Movie Club website. These are the Walt Disney Treasure tins that they used to sell back in the day, probably 20 years ago, maybe longer than that even, 25, maybe even 30 years ago. I remember buying these and seeing them at Suncoast Video back in the day, which I don't even think that place exists anymore. But there was one time when I had almost all of these tins. I think I was missing 2 or 3, maybe 4. But I think there's about 50 of them total. I ended up selling them for a very good price to somebody who offered me. I didn't fleece anybody, and I didn't gouge anybody. Somebody made me an offer that I couldn't refuse, and I sold them. But I was able to pick this one up on the Disney Movie Club for, I think, $14. And this is the Adventures of Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. This was the only one that came in a gold tin. The other ones were silver. This is a 2-disc set, and you get an exclusive Oswald button inside. It's still sealed, and I thought, why not? For $14 to have one of these again, it's pretty fun, pretty cool to have. So I grabbed it. And that will do it for my Disney pile. So let me put these away, and we will get into, I guess, I want to talk to you about Song of the South for a minute or two, and then we'll get into a miscellaneous pile before we get into the Vinegar Syndrome stuff. Okay, so I just want to talk to you guys a little bit about the fan-made movies for Song of the South. There's 3 different ways you can get this. Unfortunately, these have been banned everywhere, even these fan-made editions. You can't get them on eBay. I picked these up on Etsy from a fan who made these. Very, very high quality, very good editions. But even Etsy is pulling these and banning them. You can't get them on Etsy anymore. But I have the hookup. So I'll show you guys how you can get these. And I can get you information on how you can get one for yourself. So this first one here is the Blu-ray for Song of the South. The picture quality and the audio quality are excellent, considering these were from a VHS rip. These never had an official VHS or certainly not a Blu-ray release, but the quality is very good. I would give the picture quality a 7 out of 10. Audio quality is about an 8.5 out of 10, maybe even 9. This is a Blu-ray of it. You can also get the Blu-ray DVD combo, or you can get the DVD, and he even puts on the gold collection up there. It looks like these are legit. They come in these light blue cases for the DVDs, and they come in a regular Blu-ray case for the Blu-rays. Now, if you guys are interested in picking these up, I talked to the seller. I'll leave my email address down below in the description box. If you're interested, email me and I can get you the information to get to him. These are about $30 a pop. I don't know how much the DVD was, but the Blu-rays are $30 a pop. If you use the code WALNUTS, WALNUTS, you'll get, I think, $3 off, he said he'll do. So you can get these for $27 a piece, which is a steal. And he will ship it discreetly to your house. So he's not able to list these on Etsy anymore because they pulled it, and they even, I guess, threatened him, and they told him if he keeps putting these on Etsy that they would take away his selling privileges, which I think is crap. But I'm not going to get into the politics of all that stuff. I'm just trying to help you guys out to improve your collection, or just if you're looking for one of these. First of all, leave a comment here and just say that you sent me an email. That way I'll look for it, because I don't know you guys and you don't know me, and there's a good chance that your email will get bounced to a spam folder. So if you leave me a comment here letting me know that you sent an email, then I can keep an eye out for it. And as a matter of fact, for the email title, just put Song of the South. That's all you have to do, and I'll be able to find it very easy. So these are the 3 ways you can get it. Again, you can get the DVD, which I think looks excellent. That gold collection bar, Walt Disney Song of the South. There's some really good bonus features on here too. There's music by Johnny Mercer, and there's advertising for this movie. It's really good. There's the Blu-ray DVD combo. Or if you just want the Blu-ray, he will work with you. But you get a certain percentage off, like I said, if you use walnuts. That way we're trying to see how many of my viewers go over and buy from him. So I'll leave my email address down below. Check it out. So let's get into the miscellaneous pile. Okay, so let's get into this little miscellaneous pile. I also wanted to mention too that I don't get anything out of selling those Song of the South movies. I'm only doing it strictly to help you guys out. I know there's a lot of collectors out there who are looking for that movie. So like I said, I didn't get anything from that. I'm just helping you out. All right, so the first one here is a Norwegian holiday slasher movie called Christmas Cruelty. I believe it is in Norwegian language with English subtitles. It is. And it's region A. This is from Unearthed Films. Haven't watched it yet, but I definitely will. I love the holiday themed horror movies. I think this one came out in 2013, but it's a new release from Unearthed Films from 2022, and you can see that it does have bonus features there. There's a short film on there called Tradition. Audio commentary with the director and an actor, I believe. So just check that out, man. That looks really cool. The dark, soulless eyes of Saint Nick. I'd be curious to hear if any of you guys have watched this yet. I'm sure some or maybe most of you already have seen this. And without any spoilers, leave a comment below how you liked it. Or maybe you didn't like it, I don't know. I picked up the Terrifier 2 Steelbook. This is a Walmart exclusive. I believe Best Buy also has an exclusive, but it's not a Steelbook. I think it's a Amaray case with a slipcover, if I'm not mistaken. This Steelbook only cost, I think it was $19 when I ordered it on Walmart.com. And I think it's already going for like $70 on eBay. It's sold out. But there's Art the Clown. That's a beautiful cover. And there's Art the Clown again. Still haven't watched this movie yet. I watched part 1. I thought it was okay. To me, it was a little bit too much over the top with the gore. I think they were just kind of putting gore in for gore's sake, as I like to say. But I'm not opposed to watching gory movies, but when it doesn't really make sense to the movie, or if it's just like over the top gory, I'm not really into that kind of stuff. But I think Art the Clown looks really cool as a horror villain. He's a tall, slender, menacing looking clown. He's got that scowl on his face. It's a really cool character. I haven't seen part 2 yet. I'm thinking about leaving this sealed and just picking up another copy of it for viewing. Let me know if you guys were able to pick this up. When I pre-ordered it, like I said, it was only like about $19, so it's already going to, I think, like $70 now. Here's a favorite of just about everybody out there. It's certainly one of mine. I remember watching this with my brother and my family when I was a kid. This is the 4K edition of A Christmas Story. It comes with the slipcover. And it's the same cover on the inside, so I'm not even going to pull that out. I know they did another kind of a more updated piece on this movie. And Peter Billingsley, who played Ralphie in the movie, is now grown up. And I think you guys can correct me on this, that now he is the father in the remake or the sequel to this, and maybe one of his kids are smaller now and they're kind of focusing on his small children. I don't know for sure, but I did hear something about that they're doing a remake, or they did a remake, and some of these original characters came back as adults now, which is really cool. And I'm hoping they'll do something like that with the Goonies, because I love that movie as a kid. And I would love to see some of those guys come back as adults and maybe have their own kids, and their kids can go on a journey or something. But that is A Christmas Story. I wanted to pick that up. This was on sale on Amazon, and I think it was about $15 for a 4K movie. Is pretty good with the slipcover. So you get a 4K, a Blu-ray, and a digital code. And like I said, it was like $15 at the time. They also had the Peanuts movies in 4K, and they had the Rudolph and Frosty movies, and those were pretty cheap too. I think they were on sale because it's Christmas time. So this was gifted to me by a friend. This is the DVD of The Incredible Mr. Limpet, starring Don Knotts, and this is a live action / animated movie. This is a classic, really great movie. So I just wanted to throw that in with the miscellaneous pile. So I'm going to pause it here, put some stuff away, and we're going to get into the Vinegar Syndrome movies. Okay, so we're plowing right through this. It's going at a really good pace here, I think. So let's get into the Vinegar Syndrome stuff. Now, Vinegar Syndrome has a Black Friday sale. You guys know that. Most of you guys who watch this channel know all that stuff already. But each year, like right around Thanksgiving, they have a Black Friday sale at Vinegar Syndrome. So sometimes they will release slipcovers to movies that have already been released without slipcovers, so you can kind of add that to your collection, if you will. And that's what I did with, let me move these around a little bit here. The Lost Films of Herschel Gordon Lewis. I already had this Blu-ray. This was one of their first Blu-ray releases from Vinegar Syndrome back in, let's see if it has a year on the back. No, it does not. But this was one of their first, and I would say that this was probably 10 years ago, 8 years ago. Whenever they started to release Blu-rays, this was one of them. And they used to release them in these blue cases. So I've had this for many, many years. And it's a 2-disc. And then it has a booklet and some other stuff in there. And it's some of the lost films from Herschel Gordon Lewis. You get Ecstasies of Women, Linda and Abilene, Black Love. All 3 films have been restored in 2K from their original camera negatives. So this year for Black Friday, they released the slipcover for it. So of course I had to get it, and it looks beautiful. I love the color scheme here with the kind of like that violet on top of that royal blue and the black font. It looks really beautiful. It's a really nice slipcover. And then on the back it has the titles of those movies. At some point I may get a clear case and put this in, but I don't know if I really need to, because this is in a slipcover here, so you won't even see the Blu-ray case really. I mean, so I definitely wanted to pick that one up. The next one is one that I passed on years ago. This is called The Doll Squad and Mission Kill Fast. This is a double billing. These are both Ted Michaels movies. I didn't order this one, and it ended up selling out. I wasn't really that heartbroken about it, but when they listed it with the slipcover, it was released without a slipcover originally. I went ahead and bought it, so I do have the Doll Squad and Mission Kill Fast now, and I did get a slipcover with it, so I was very glad about that. Glad to add these to the collection. And both movies are on 1 disc, and there's a alternate cover. You can flip it if you so choose. But this slipcover is really beautiful. Check that out, man. Very, very nice. So I'm going to pause it here, put that away, and we'll get into a couple more. Okay, so this year Vinegar Syndrome did something a little bit different. They released a couple movies with slipcovers that have already been released with slipcovers, but they kind of switched it up a little bit and did kind of a comic book style paneling for the Blu-ray slipcovers. So this is Tammy and the T-Rex. And I'm not sure why they spelled it T-A-N-N-Y. That's really weird. Tanny. But this is how the movie was originally released. And I think this was last year that they released this for Black Friday with that lenticular plate on there. And it sold out pretty quick, and I think it's going for some pretty good money now. So I got this one last year, and this year I picked up the comic book cover, and I picked up another movie just to put inside of it, and put inside of the slipcover. It was pretty cheap, but it's a gimmick for sure, and it looks like the print on these boxes is a little bit faded. It looks like they could have had a little higher quality on these. It looks very low quality to me, considering that Vinegar Syndrome has always been very high quality. But yeah, you can definitely tell this almost looks like newspaper print. That's how kind of faded it is. And I'm not sure if that's what they were going for, but they definitely got that from it. But that's Tammy and the T-Rex, and up here they're calling it Tanny, T-A-N-N-Y, and the Teenage T-Rex. And then there's just, if you guys want to read the panels here, you can pause it and read those. But this movie has become a cult movie. It definitely does have cult status now. And the last one that I got from Vinegar Syndrome is Blood Beat. And this again is another kind of a comic book style cover. Here's what the original Blood Beat looked like. This was the original slipcover that they released a couple of years ago. Movie from 1982. And then they re-released it with this kind of newspaper quality looking comic book panel, I guess. That's the best way I can describe it. It just looks like it's kind of... I don't know if that's what they were going for, kind of that vintage newspaper look, but it just doesn't seem to have that high quality feel that Vinegar Syndrome always has. But that was my little Vinegar Syndrome haul. You guys will have to let me know what you picked up from the Vinegar Syndrome Black Friday sale. I went to look and see if these were sold out yet so I can pass that info on to you guys, but I forgot that they have their sister labels, their other labels for December on their webpage right now, so they don't even have any Vinegar Syndrome movies for sale on their website right now. It's a partners month, I guess. So let me pause this, put this stuff away, and we'll get into some Nico Mastorakis. Nico Mastorakis. Okay, so the newest additions to my Nico Mastorakis and Arrow Video collection are these three movies here. The first one is called Blood Tide. I had fun with this one. I popped it in the day that I got it. It stars James Earl Jones. It's a movie from the early 80s. And it's about a curse. I gotta say, the scenery in this movie is absolutely breathtaking. It was filmed in Greece, and you can see a lot of the kind of ruins of castles and old buildings, and that's where this movie takes place, on an island that is supposedly haunted by spirits of, I guess, ancient gods or something like that. And anybody who comes to the island in search of treasure will bad things happen to them. I have to be careful what I say. I don't want to give anything away. But James Earl Jones is a scuba diver, and he looks for hidden treasures for his own wealth. So he's kind of going against the rules of this city on the island. Comes with a beautiful booklet. The guy who played the sensei in Karate Kid, the bad guy, I forget his name, is also in this movie, and there he is right there. He's the lead character. These two are kind of the lead roles here. It's I forget his name. His name is Martin something in real life, but I forget what his name was in the movie. But these two are a couple. They're searching for her sister, and that's when they run into James Earl Jones on the island, who is a treasure hunter for his own wealth. And the town folk find out, and they don't like it, and stuff happens. Oh, these ladies were gorgeous in this movie, by the way. This whole movie was beautifully shot. It looks so good. The scenery in this movie was everything. And I do recommend this movie. That's Blood Tide, and this one was directed by Nico Mastorakis. And I brought a couple more to show of the movies that I already had from Nico Mastorakis. I'll show those at the end here. But the next one's called Bloodstone. This one's directed by Dwight Little, but it was produced by Nico Mastorakis. And apparently this is kind of a Romancing the Stone type ripoff, kind of an adventure movie where they're looking for treasures in a foreign land again. And I haven't watched this one yet, but I heard it was pretty good, and there's a reversible cover, and I bet that's a Graham Humphreys cover. But this one also did come with a booklet. I'll pull it out and show you really quick. So it's kind of an Indiana Jones or Romancing the Stone. If you guys can remember those movies from the 80s, I think this is kind of a rip-off type movie of those. And I think this was right around the same time too. Indiana Jones came out in the early to mid 80s. I think this one came out in the late 80s, 88, 89, somewhere in there. So yeah. But I do enjoy these type of movies, so I'm looking forward to checking it out. I just haven't had time yet. You get some pretty good bonus features there, and it was artwork by Graham Humphreys. He definitely has a distinct style. He's excellent at what he does. The next one is called Nightmare at Noon. I started to watch this one a couple days ago. This one has some pretty good actors in it. These guys here, Wings Hauser and Bo Hopkins, were kind of like kings of the B movie. And there's Wings Hauser right there. He's still with us. I think he's in his late 70s, maybe early 80s by now. Bo Hopkins has passed away, but he was in a lot of B movies, a lot of action type movies. You would definitely recognize him if you see him. George Kennedy is also in here, who has passed away. This guy here, he always played a villain, and his name, it escaped me at the moment, but Brian James, B-R-I-O-N, Brian James. In this movie, he plays a guy called what did they call him? I forget what that disease is called when you're pale white, but that's what they called him in the movie. But he always played a really good villain, and he does in this movie as well. I can't think of the name of that disease. Oh, albino, that's what it's called, albino. And it's weird because he spits in the movie quite a bit, and when he spits, it's blood. It's like bright red blood, and he spits it, and he's just like, it almost looks like he jumped in a pail or a vat of baby powder, because that's how white he looks in the movie. But yeah, he's definitely evil, and there's a reason why he looks like he does in the movie, but I'm not going to give that away to you. But this is a pretty good movie. It has some pretty good action and some pretty good horror to it. It almost reminds me of George A. Romero's The Crazies, because in this movie, there's a poison chemical that gets spilled into a river that runs through into this town in the movie. I think it takes place in Utah. And when this poison fluid gets into the groundwater and gets into the well water, these people drink the water and they turn into these almost like brainless monsters or zombies, if you want to call it that. But they're not your traditional zombies where they kind of shuffle. I mean, they run and they're angry and they're shooting guns at you. It's pretty good. I would recommend this one too. There's a reverse. I didn't really care too much for that cover. But there's George Kennedy. I'm sure you guys recognize him. He's been in a lot of stuff. He was a great actor, and he played a good role in this movie as the police sheriff. But as you get in any Nico Mastorakis movie, there's a lot of explosions, a lot of gunfights, a lot of action. So this did not disappoint. These movies were really good. That's what they look like when they drink the water. They kind of get like this, I don't know, you want to call it mold or whatever, that started to grow on their face. They kind of turn like a greenish tint. And they're not to be reasoned with. They just they pick up a gun and they lose their minds and they'll start shooting at you. And one particular scene there with that guy with the beard I just showed you, he does something to his own son. I'm not going to spoil that either, but he didn't have he wasn't playing with the full deck anymore at that point when he turned into a like a crazed zombie or whatever you want to call it. He didn't have a thought process anymore. He wasn't rational. So these are the 3 Nico Mastorakis movies I just picked up recently. And then I showed these, I think, in my last update video, but I just wanted to kind of show you all of them together in case you guys are interested in building your own Nico Mastorakis collection. This was from Vinegar Syndrome. It's called Dark Room. I believe this one was produced by Nico. Yep, he was the executive producer for that one. And then Grandmother's House, he was the director. That's also from Vinegar Syndrome. And then the rest of these are from Arrow. So you get the Zero Boys, which I thought was a great movie. Death Has Blue Eyes, which I haven't watched yet. The Wind. Hired to Kill, which also had George Kennedy in it, as well as Brian Thompson and Oliver Reed. That's a great cast. And then the last one, which ironically was his first movie. It's the last one I'm showing you today, but it was his first, called Island of Death. So those are the Nico Mastorakis movies I have. I'm pretty proud of this collection, and I really enjoy his movies, and I would highly recommend them to you guys out there. So, all right, I'm going to pause it here. We're going to talk a little bit about a movie company called Signal One in the UK. Okay, so there's a company in the UK called Signal One, and they reached out, asked me if I'd like to review a couple of their movies, which I would love to. If there's anybody else out there that wants me to review movies, I'll definitely do that. I like to spread the word and help some of these labels grow. The first one here is called Via Rides, and this one has an all-star cast. It has a young Charles Bronson, you can see there on the left. It also has Yul Brynner and Robert Mitchum. This is spine number 47 in their catalog. And it's a movie from 1968. It's a little over 2 hours long. It's 125 minutes. It's locked to Region B, but if you guys have a Region Free player, it shouldn't concern you. You can see that. Some pretty good scenes, and I really do love black and white movies. Over time, they have really grown on me. When I was a kid, I didn't like black and white movies, but as I got older, I really enjoy them. Even black and white TV, like the old Twilight Zone or Outer Limits, some of the old Alfred Hitchcock Presents, all those are black and white, and they're all beautiful. I tried to see what the difference was between these two covers, but I don't know what it is. At first I thought it was going to be that the ratings logo was on one side and not the other, but it's on both sides. And I don't have a good enough eye to see what the difference between the two covers is. I think it may be exactly the same. So I'm not sure what the opposite cover is, but these are great movies, and I really want to thank Signal One for reaching out and shipping these. And I even offered to pay for shipping because I know it's very expensive to ship overseas, but they insisted that they wanted to do it. So I definitely want to, spread the love for this company, because you guys can probably find some stuff over there that you really like. They have westerns, they have a couple of horror movies, and some cult classics over there. So go check out Signal One. I'll leave a link down below too. Signal1.com, I believe it is. And these movies just dropped. So she told me on the email that she sent me that they will send these as soon as they're released, and I just got these last week. So these are brand new releases. Here's another one called The Fighting Kentuckian, starring John Wayne. That's another great cover. And again, it has a reversible cover, but I don't know what the difference is between the two. But it looks great. I think the cover looks really, really good. Get a couple bonus features. And this one is spine number 48. So I'm going to have to invest a little money in this company, I think, because I like what they're doing. And I'm going to have to go back in their catalog and see if I can kind of catch up to some of these numbers. 47 and 48 for these two. Let me know if you guys have any movies from Signal One, or if you know anything about the company, or if maybe you'd consider going over and checking out their website. Check the link down below. And thank you to Signal One for sending these to me. Okay, so we're coming to the end of the video. The movies are done. I don't have any more movies to show. I'll go through this this little run of comics of the Shadow. And these are in order from 1 to, what did I say? There was 15 of them, I think, or 14. But this is the first DC issue of the Shadow. Who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men? The Shadow knows. You guys may remember hearing some of the old radio programs for the Shadow. They made a movie with Alec Baldwin, I think, in the 1990s. But the Shadow is a pulp comic anti-hero, I guess. He fights evil. It's part 2, or issue 2, I should say. I'll just go through these really quick. These are when comics were 20 cents. They call this the Silver Age. This is issue number 3. The Kingdom of the Cobra. These are all in pretty good condition too. I'm going to keep these as readers. I'm not going to have these graded, but these are in really good shape. This is issue number 4, called Death is Bliss. Here's issue number 5. That's a good cover. Who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men? The Shadow knows. Issue number 6, Night of the Ninja. I bought these as a lot on Etsy. I got all of them for $100, which I thought was a steal, because part 1, or the first issue, usually goes for about $60 on its own in that condition. Maybe even more than that. If I got this one graded, I think it would probably get like a 9, maybe a 9.2. And I think it could be anywhere from $60 to $100 just for that first issue. So the rest of them are kind of free if you look at it that way. But I'm just going to keep these as readers. This is issue number 7. This one's called Night of the Mummy, issue number 8. Really good cover. This thing is in really good condition too. I don't see much wear at all. I think if I sent these in to get pressed and cleaned before grading, I think I can get probably 9s in most of these. Or at least 8.5. Night of the Falling Death. That's issue number 9. These covers are great. Night of the Killers, issue 10. Hero fights evil when the shadow meets the Avenger, issue number 11. Here's issue number 12 from September, Night of the Damned. So that was it. It was 12. So this was only a run of 12. I got all 12 of them. And I was glad to do it because, like I said, I bought these for this whole lot for $100 and it was shipped for free. So that's less than 10 bucks a book, which is a really, really good deal, in my opinion. And then I have this little, I don't know if I showed this or not already. I've had this for a while. I figured since I was showing the Shadow comics, I might as well show this one. This one's called Sword of Sorcery. And these were also from the 70s. And these are also Silver Age. And these were also 20-cent covers. I think they're going to be making a movie about this character. Fafhrd the Barbarian and Grey Mouser. These are really good covers, though. I have a couple of these graded already. I'll pull those out at the end and show you guys which ones I have graded. But this was number 1 from March. This only lasted 5 issues. This is number 2. This is a skull cover. This one's highly sought after. This one usually goes for, in a high grade, this is over $350 to $400 for this book alone. Here's issue number 3, another great cover. And here's number 4. And here's the 5th one and the last one. Another great cover. I'm going to pause it here and pull out the graded comics I have for this. And then I'm going to show you guys a Necronomicon that I picked up. It's pretty cool. Got it pretty cheap. Okay, so the 2 that I have graded, I have number 4 right here, which was a 9.6. 9.8 is considered mint, so this was just below that. And the yellow label means that it was signed. It's a signature series, which was signed by 2 of the gentlemen who worked on the book. Howard Chaykin and Denny O'Neil signed this book. You can see Denny O'Neil signed it right there, and Chaykin signed it on the inside cover. The only way you can get a yellow label from CGC is if they witness the autograph. So if they give you a yellow label and it says it's signed by them and you don't see it here, you can rest assured that it's signed somewhere in there. Otherwise they wouldn't give it a yellow label. And then I have number 1 in a 9.2, and this is also a signature series signed by Howard Chaykin. Howard Chaykin has since passed away. But that's a really cool cover too. So pretty happy with these comics that they're graded, and they're only going to go up in price. I think this one is worth about $200 with the 2 signatures on it, and it's only going up. And I think this one's probably about 150-ish, give or take. But I think eventually these, it wouldn't surprise me if in a few years these were like $400 or $500 a piece, just because they're signed and they're graded. So all right, let's get into the Necronomicon, and then I'm going to show you guys one more thing. I adopted 2 more little animals for the Walnuts compound. So what you're seeing here is a prop called the Necronomicon, the Book of the Dead, as seen in the Evil Dead movies. I picked this up on Amazon. It was pretty cheap. I think it was like about 15 bucks. But the quality is not that great, but it's definitely, to me, it's worth 15. I think it's even worth like in the 25 range. But there are better editions of this book that are fan made that you can get for, some of them go up to like 100, 200 bucks. You know, some of these books are very, very well done. This one's just kind of like a poor man's Necronomicon. It's very thin. It has kind of a rubbery smell, but it's not rubber like the Anchor Bay DVD box sets. But it's really cool, and I have pretty big hands, and it's bigger than my hand. I don't know exactly what the dimensions are, but we'll flip through this and kind of just show you some of the art that's on the inside of here. Like I said, to me, this is worth $15 all day long. And if you're interested, you can go to Amazon and just type in Necronomicon. You'll see it. It said it's from a Chinese seller, and it is from a Chinese seller, but the warehouse is here in, I think, Los Angeles. So it's shipping from a Los Angeles warehouse, not from China. So I was thinking it was going to take several weeks to get this, and it took about maybe 6 days, I think, to get this. From the time I paid till the time it was in my mailbox, it was about 6 days. Yeah, there's really cool stuff in here. It's a lot like those rubber books that Anchor Bay released, but this one is a little more in depth. It has more pages to it. So you can see some of the cool artwork that they put in here as a Necronomicon kind of replica type book. It's really cool, and like I said, if you guys are interested in this, go check out Amazon. It's worth all of $15. I'm thinking about getting a better quality one too at some point. Get a really good one. They do a good job of making this look like it's handwritten, and it's like kind of like an aged tome or something. But you can smell the ink, and it has like a new type smell to it. Very nice. I read some of the reviews about this before I ordered it, and there was a lot of people who thought that they were misinformed when they bought this, but I think the seller did a great job of not only pricing it affordably, but they do tell you that the book, they give a good description of the book. So if you're looking at this thinking you're going to get some $200 book for $15, then you're sadly mistaken. Some of the people that were, giving this a bad review are pretty ridiculous, I think. If you're a fan of the Evil Dead franchise, or you just like this kind of this macabre type books, this is definitely a nice piece to pick up. I mean, they really do make it look like that's hand drawn in there. So I gotta say, I'm pretty happy with this book. Just wanted to share it with you guys in case you're interested. You may not be able to tell, but you see that earlobe there? It's embossed, so the cover of the book definitely has a texture to it. You may not be able to pick it up on my phone though. And on the front too, the same thing. The eye sockets are kind of sunk in, and the bark on the forehead, it's embossed, and it definitely has a texture to it. So that was it. I'm gonna show you guys one more thing, and we're gonna end this video. Okay, so I had to come back to the living room so I can show you the 2 new additions to the Walnuts compound. I picked up a couple of these critters from the movie Critters. I put it next to the box set. These little guys are fantastic. They're really, really cool. They're about, I would say that they're about 10 inches tall. They're very highly detailed, and there was 2 different colors, so I bought both of them. The first one is kind of like a blondish hair with kind of black streaks in it, and these are really, really cool. And then the other one is kind of a brownish color with dark streaks in it, and I just kind of put them in right around the Critters box set collection from Scream Factory, just to put them there for now. Those are little shelf pieces, and I'm really happy with them. I think I paid about $20 a piece for those. And again, these were on Amazon. And these also were from a Chinese seller on Amazon, but it ships from the US. and they got to my house, I think, about 10 days for these two. But I was very happy. You can see that they're painted. They painted in the gums, painted the eyes and around the eyes. They're very, very realistic looking. If you've seen the movies, you'd probably agree. You have to see these in person. But they're very good, high quality pieces. For 20 a piece, I thought it was a great buy. I picked up two of them. There are a couple different sellers with different models. I noticed that there were some with the mouth closed and they have a big smile and the teeth are closed together, which looks pretty cool. I may grab one of those. But the seller that I bought these from had these two. It was pretty much the same sculpt. It just had different color hair. So this one was like the blondish black, and this one was kind of brownish black. So I just wanted to share that with you guys and show you the two new additions to the Walnuts compound. And that is going to do it for the video. This will probably be my last video for the year 2022. I do have some stuff coming in the mail, of course, as always, and I'll probably wait till after the first of the year in 2023 to do a new video. I want to wish you guys a very Merry Christmas. I want to wish you all the very best for a 2023. I hope you have a great year. I hope you have health, wealth, and happiness. And don't forget to check those links down below if you would like to order a Song of the South movie. I'll leave my email link down below. And if you would like to show a little support to my second channel, my gaming channel, which I'm going to be on tonight for a couple of hours, feel free to come over and chat and watch. It's fun. Feel free to subscribe, and I'd like to grow that channel a little bit. So that is it, guys. Take care. Leave any questions or comments down below, and I'll see you next time. Later.